ዝም ብሎ የቡና ሻዩን ከማውራት
He's saying, instead of just talking, chit-chat, do something great that you can pass on to your kids. Jimma is like, loved the place by everybody in the world because of coffee. You have to love that place.
14-15 ቤቶች ፈርሰዋል።
This part of the clip actually has been cut a lot. One of the things he said, in this beautification process, they tore down 14 to 15,000 homes.
እኔ ከማንም ሰው ጋር ልወራረድ እችላለሁ።
So here he just made a bet saying in a year's time when we finish this area and when we finish this project. Hey guys, welcome back to Dejene Ethiopia Tours. I'm Dejene Ethiopia Tours and today is going to be a little bit of a reaction video and my thoughts on where the tourism industry in Ethiopia is going. And my belief that is if we keep on going at this pace that we are at right now, building all the infrastructure, Ethiopia can be one of the superpowers in the tourism industry. So that's my belief if we keep on going, if we're able to add to it and build on it. That's why I wanted to react to this video because I had that thought for a while. As you guys know, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia he made an interesting speech that I wanted to talk about. And it has nothing to do with anything else other than tourism. Please. Let's just keep it on the tourism sector, and that's the area that I am in, Dejene Ethiopia Tours. And this doesn't reflect anything other than the tourism sector. And what I think about it, if we keep on going, this could really, really dramatically change the face of Ethiopia in a lot of ways and help a lot of people in a lot of different places. And for those of you that don't know, Jimma is the area that coffee is found in, and a beautiful place. Let's get to it.
በተደጋጋሚ እንደምናገረው ኢትዮጵያ በተፈጥሮ ሀብት የታደለች ሀገር ናት።
Cinematic, but I'm gonna be pausing at different parts of the speech, giving my 2 cents and also kind of translating what the Prime Minister just said in my own words, so don't quote me on it. We'll put a link to the video directly for anybody that wants to watch it and get their own perspective on it. So he just started off with saying what I said, like Ethiopia has so many beautiful things and has so many resources and so many areas, landscape-wise, nature-wise, from north to south. It's so different. Every few hours, really, you can encounter a different landscape and setting, from the Afar, to the Tigray region with the rock-hewn and stuff. Gojam, Gondar, those areas are also amazingly beautiful with a lot of different types of landscape. And then as you go south, Rift Valley. So Ethiopia has amazing different religious aspects of also the different churches in different parts of Ethiopia. We just have it all, really. We just need to learn how to use it. That's what he said. Like, if we're able to work on it, we are able to develop something that's more beautiful or as beautiful as the things that we admire from abroad in other countries.
ስፍራዎች በእጅጉኑ የላቁ ምርት ልክ መብቀል ሲችል ነው ፍሬያማ መሆን የሚችለውና
He said, we have all these beautiful things that I just talked about, but we lacked ideas of what to do with it. Nobody appreciates the things that they have around them and don't realize how much resources and how beautiful or whatever it is combined together, said not using it. Then he went on to saying, like, bring in different ideas from abroad, taking a look at what they did in San Francisco or what they did in Dubai or what they did in China and trying to do it here. He said that doesn't work because it can't be a building block. If you have your own resource and your own ideas and you take resources and ideas from abroad and you merge it together in a way that makes your place and it fits it particularly to a specific area. I really like that idea because Ethiopia is starting from scratch in a lot of ways. As old as we are, as ancient and as many things, the tourism industry as a business, we're really starting from scratch. We're really just building everything infrastructure-wise, roads, even resorts and all that kind of wise. So we can take a look at the best tourism areas in the world, countries that have really evolved to make it very efficient, easy for travelers, marketing-wise, the whole chain, and take ideas that fit us. This video is like, how do we take ideas from everywhere but make it fit Ethiopia?
የታደልነው ነገር ሐሳብ ነው። የኢትዮጵያን ጸጋ፣ የኢትዮጵያን ሀብት በውል ማወቅ መቻል ነው።
The Prime Minister wrote a book called Medemer, which means Medemer in Amharic is like adding together, but coming together, being one, unifying, unity, I guess would be the translation of it. He said right now, when we had that idea, came with 3 ideas. Part 1 is understanding Ethiopia's nature, Ethiopia's God-given gift, Ethiopia's wealth, like all the different wealth that's hidden within Ethiopia in different forms, making it beautiful and showing people that's showing its wealth. And then we'll see what he says next.
ሁለተኛው ደግሞ የኢትዮጵያ ካልቸር ውስጥ ያን ሀብት አውጥቶ የሚሉ ሳቢዎች ያው እንደምታየው በጣም ለማመን የሚከብድ በፍጹም በማንኛውም መስፈርት በእኛ አህጉር እንደዚህ ያለ ነገር አለ ብሎ ማሰብ በማያስችል ደረጃ ውበቱ ወጥቷል።
So he's saying, if we are able to take Ethiopia's nature, God-given gift, the wealth of Ethiopia in different forms, and put it with the culture, and then build a system with that to develop the country and work together. So he mentioned a bunch of the agriculture area that's working on for a while, trying to be self-sufficient in a lot of agriculture areas, food, green legacy is one of them, manufacturing is an area that they're trying to work on. All of these things, if we're able to put it into one system and a system that feeds each other, so that's one of the things, like trying to fit a bunch of different things into an area. And then when you see a place that you didn't take a look at it twice, but now it's beautiful and it's a travel destination, not only for foreigners, but like for Ethiopians to go and enjoy. And Jimma is like very loved place by everybody in the world because of coffee. You have to love that place, and that place being beautiful and something to travel to is amazing. So let's keep on going.
የዚህ ውበት መነሻው አንደኛው ሐሳብ ነው። ሁለተኛው ዲሲፕሊን ነው። ይቆማል፣ ይፈርሳል፣ ወደ ኋላ ይመለሳል።
The reason this project was successful, especially in Jimma, is the thing of having a great idea and having the discipline to work on it. But more importantly, the people in the region accepting the idea and wanting to work on it with the government and working on it. He's saying has brought this idea to fruition and has made it something beautiful that has come out. The point is, if great of as an idea as you can have, if the area doesn't want it, if the people don't follow it, or not interested in it, that doesn't work. So that's why saying followership, which means the community accepting it and embracing it and working together, is something that has really made this happen. And he actually mentions a few stats.
ጅማ ላይ ያስደመመኝ ነገር በትንሹ 14-15 ሺህ ቤቶች ፈርሰዋል።
This part of the clip actually has been cut a lot and used in media and stuff because it's quite hard to believe and also quite impressive. So one of the things he said, in this beautification process, they tore down 14 to 15,000 homes of people on the roads and trying to beautify it, and areas needed to be open. Graveyards and stuff had to be moved. Mosques had to be moved. And then within that, he's saying the people accepted it so much that they didn't even ask for payment or replacement spots or something like that. Like he's saying, like people were willing to give up their areas and their spots to see this idea come to fruition. It's like saying, like, would I give up my spot, my house, to be torn down so that my city can be beautiful and I have to find a different place and I don't even get paid for it? It's a very hard concept to accept. That's why I said this part has been clipped, is because whether it's true or not, if it's true, the people are amazing. So that's why it's been clipped. It's just people can't believe that they would give up their land to the government for free. So that's why.
ለመላው ኢትዮጵያ ሕዝብ
after he said all this about the Jimma area, he said kind of a message to the people of Ethiopia is like, in the different regions, if we can come together, we have an idea, meaning the government and resources and different people working, private enterprises working with the government, have ideas and have the will and the dedication to make different parts of Ethiopia as beautiful. That's what he's saying. So, but for all this to work, working together is key. And as a lot of you guys know, there's problems in different parts of Ethiopia, fighting against the government and stuff. And this might be part of a message towards them and saying, like, let's work together and let's beautify Ethiopia.
እኔ ከማንም ሰው ጋር ልወራረድ እችላለሁ።
So here he just made a bet saying in a year's time, when we finish this area and when we finish this project, there's not going to be many places in the world that would be as beautiful. It would be great to go film it for you guys before a year, because right now parts are done, it's already beautiful and they're showing videos. But if 5,000 likes and subscribers, and we'll go to Jimma and show you guys what's being done right now. And actually, surprise thing, in a few days we're actually going to Gondar because we have a group coming. You'll see this video before the Gondar video, but we'll be touring the new renovated palaces in Gondar and the whole city of Gondar and what's being done. So you'll get maybe 2 videos after this. So subscribe, like. The reason I'm showing you is not a supportive or disagreeing or anything else. It's the vision for Ethiopia is the part that I love the most.
ይሄ ስራ የተሰራው በምዕራቡ ዓለም ቢሆን ክረምትም በጋም መጠቀም የሚያስችል እንደዚህ ያለ ውበት በቀላሉ የሚገኝ ነገር አይደለም።
Here he talked about, a lot of places, like either you can only use it in the winter time because skiing, snowboarding, whatever, or summertime because otherwise it gets too cold and all that. But in Ethiopia, a lot of the parts actually, you can really use it throughout the year. Even when it's rainy season, it rains for a few hours and then it stops and it's sunny. We have a very blessed weather. So what are the things he's saying, like to have a beautiful place like this that we can use year round, and we have, the landscape, they'll have the mountains for hiking and it's a forest. And then you have the water and you have the beautiful area, the sunset and the sunrise is a beautiful thing.
ጅማ ውብ ነበረች። አፈር የለበሰው ወርቋ አሁን በምታየው መልክ ተቆፍሮ ውበቷ ወጥቷል ማለት ነው።
He's saying like Jimma, the whole area was a beautiful place. It's a historic place. The people love peace. He said like now time has come where it's being beautified. Natural beauty is being amplified and brought out through these projects. That's a props to themselves and their project and their work, and it looks amazing from the video. So why not?
ሰው መጥቶ ጭንቀቱን ስትረሱን ሊያራግፍበት የሚችል መልካም ነገር ጥሩ ነገር እንዲሁ በዋዛ አይመጣም።
One of the things I actually appreciate about our Prime Minister is that when work is done, there's a lot of projects that they've done in Ethiopia or everywhere, like I said, continuing, saying like the work is not done yet, we're not finished yet. I really appreciate that mentality of good, it's a great start, and we're seeing results from it, but it's not done yet. We have a lot to do. That mentality keeps you always working, and I kind of personally appreciate that for myself.
የትም ዓለም ያየነው ላባቸውን ደማቸውን ገብረው የሰሩት ነው።
Nothing good comes easily. Everything you have to swallow your pride, swallow your ego and work hard, put your blood and sweat into it. And he mentioned that even within America, like a lot of the beautiful places, a lot of the stuff that was built a few hundred years ago was built by slaves, which means people sacrificed a lot for it, even though they're being forced. It's also very important to teach our children to work hard and also like not repeat a lot of the bad history that we have and take the good history. Ethiopia has a lot of bad history, but also obviously, as any country does, a lot of very good history, taking from different leaders and stuff like that. And also appreciate nature, appreciate working hard, having imagination. Those things, hopefully, if we're able to pass the stage of conflict with each other and distrusting each other's tribes, each other's religions and all that kind of stuff, if we're able to not pass that on to our kids and we're able to build a unified Ethiopia in a way that everybody just sees themselves as Ethiopians and moves on, that would be fantastic.
ብዙ ቦታ መደገም አለበት። አርባ ምንጭ ከፍተኛ ፖቴንሻል አለው።
Saying they're in Jimma, that's a different area right now. Arba Minch is one of the most beautiful places in Ethiopia with 40 springs. That's Arba Minch, that's what it means. Bahar Dar is where Lake Tana is, that's where Blue Nile and the Nile starts. And then Gondar, which is the castles of Ethiopia and stuff. So what he said is like that area, if we're able to even do more work that we've been able to do right now, being able to take down a lot of different infrastructure areas, like tearing down the houses and stuff like he talked about in Jimma, and plant a lot more trees and stuff like that. If we're able to do that, then it can really be one of a city just like in Europe.
እና አስበው መቀሌን ከሰራን የተሻለ ነገር መፍጠር ይቻላል።
So here he just mentioned a bunch of cities in Ethiopia that a lot of the work is going on. And he said like this has been a few years that we've been, because technically they've only been in power, well, after the election, so 5 years right now. So that's what he's saying. Within this few years, we've done this much. And if we're able to continue doing it for the next round and be able to work together without the fighting, because we had domestic problems before that, then COVID, then civil war. So he's saying if we don't have that problem, and we are able to work, then we could potentially do something amazing.
ያው ጅማ እንዳያችሁት የአባ ጅፋር ቤተ መንግስት ሁሉም ቦታ dignified life, quality life እንዲፈጠር ማድረግ ይቻላል።
One of the places that they renovated in Jimma is the Abba Jafar Palace, and you're saying how amazing of a guy he was, how entrepreneurial he was, how peace-loving he was, and also how thoughtful he was for his community and all the entrepreneur stuff that he started and led. So they renovated his palace, which is older than 100 years. And if we're gonna be able to do that for 15, 20 of our cities in Ethiopia, then we can have a population that lives in dignity and prosperity and different things.
ያም የሆነው ግን አማራጭ ሐሳብ ብናመጣ
So here's, he said something, I don't even know that direct translation, but saying to the people who are like commenting and pushing different agendas that don't have ideas, if you don't have good ideas and if you don't have good things to do, then he's saying either follow or bring ideas that can be implemented. I kind of liked that diss, so
ዝም ብሎ የቡና ሻዩን ከማውራት በስራ ሳይተናል።
He's saying instead of just talking chit chat, over coffee, tea, it's better to have a mission, have an idea, bring people together, bring your communities together, do something great that you can pass on to your kids. So what he's saying is like for us, meaning his government, said what we're gonna do, written what we're gonna do, and we've actually done parts of what we said we would do.
ይህን ስራ ሳንኩራራ መልቲፕላይ ማድረግ ከቻል ብዙዎች ለማሳየት እንተጋለን።
He's saying we've done a lot in Ethiopia, we've done Addis Ababa, the different stuff that I just talked about. If we don't let this get to our head and our ego, and we keep on doing this and multiply these kind of work, we will have great Ethiopia. I like the idea of it. Like I said earlier, this is just pure tourism-wise, everything that's being done in a good way. So one of the things I wanted to talk about is like the opportunities in Ethiopia. So the opportunity for people to see a lot of the parts of Ethiopia, even especially right now, as the tourism industry is very slow, trying to come to Ethiopia and see it, might be able to do it on a very good budget. But then also opportunity as a business. There's a lot of resorts that are being built, like I said earlier, but they might be out of reach for a lot of people, expense-wise. So as a business opportunity would be building clean, budget-friendly guest houses, hotels, and stuff like that are close enough to the resort also, but because the infrastructure is built for it. And that's the part of the government. I think that's an opportunity the government has opened up, because if there's a really nice resort that's been opened up and then around there's activities that have been built, if I build, a guest house, a hotel close by that's cheaper, but just clean and nice and tourist friendly, and then everybody enjoys the national parks or the rivers or the waters and the whole thing. I think that opens up a huge amount of potential all over Ethiopia. And there's, by the way, the Haile Resort or the Kriftu Resort, those are the big chains in Ethiopia that are building a lot of different resorts and hotels on top of what the government is doing. But these are like the high-end ones. And I think there's also a huge opportunity for, like $50 range ones, that if we have it everywhere as guest houses and places to build. And also there's, I think, huge potential with all this stuff being done of coordination between the tourism industry, because like Jimma, for example, if somebody wants to get up and go to Jimma, it's very hard to find a guide, find transportation and stuff. So I think we need to work something together, and big opportunity for a few different places, like sites, to be able to find guides, car rental easily and affordable. One of the things that we have that in Ethiopia is like we tend to make things a little bit expensive. So if we can, like, instead of trying to make all our money from one person, if we say, hey, like we work it out in a way that we can make it from a lot of people, servicing a lot of people, and making a continuous business thing, that would be a fantastic idea, because then a lot more people would come to Ethiopia. And for the people abroad, one of the most, like anybody in the tourism area, anybody in the influential area, photography, filming, writers especially, I think you have an amazing point. Religious leaders, Ethiopia, if you're a Muslim religious leader, Christian religious leader, Jewish religious leader, or other just interested atheists, because there's parts that don't believe in specific God, they have their own beliefs and their own faith. So even that is a huge attraction. So working with tour companies in Ethiopia and bringing travelers, hikers especially, there's opportunities. Religious leaders, like I said, writers, the stories in Ethiopia are, the wars. Game of Thrones, could have been done in Ethiopia, and our history, if you read it, you'll see it's kind of a Game of Thrones. And then the religious stuff. So there's just so much to do, to partner with. So if you're within any area, take a look at the tour companies in Ethiopia and try to partner with them, and obviously try to partner with us. But if it's an area that we don't do, then I'm happy to link you to somebody in Ethiopia that does that. But the idea is just opportunities there to build a great thing and build a brand. So obviously in the business world, being first really builds your brand. So being first to partner and create a package that people will know that's the package to do for hiking, that's the package to do for filming within Ethiopia, photography in Ethiopia, or history in Ethiopia. So there's just endless potential. So I wanted to share this with you guys, and I hope you guys like this. I really think if we keep going like this in Ethiopia with the tourism development and that infrastructure building, within a few years, we can really be the #1 tourism destination in Africa. That's a big saying, but you're welcome to tear me to shreds in the comments. But for all of you that love this country and think it's beautiful, love you too.